Pat yourselves on the back, boys. We did it again. We were right. The modern audience experiment has absolutely failed.
Hey, what's up, guys? Riff here. So today we're going to be looking at some more appeals to the modern audience that end up backfiring for the studios who made those statements. We're going to be looking at some updates regarding Star Wars Outlaws and the continued failure of that project. But we're going to start with Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. So this is a game that has, well, a weird reputation because it's one that is positive in many aspects but negative in many aspects regarding the reputation of this game and all the companies involved with its production. Now, if you see the reviews on Steam here, they're very positive. Overall, the people who have actually gone out and purchased this game, they seem to be having a very good time. However, the numbers are quite disappointing. So you can see the live player count right now, about 7,000 players. The all-time peak happening on release with 12,000. Again, if this was some indie game, that'd be great. But this is an Indiana Jones IP. This is a game that clearly cost a lot of money. The majority of the game is cutscenes. It's practically a movie. So yes, there was a big budget. This isn't going to cut it. So what happened with this game? A lot of people said it was woke. A lot of people said that it was just a bad game. Some people said it's a really good game. So what's going on? Well,
I covered this. I talked about this. First of all, this game is not actually woke, which was the biggest shock, honestly, of the century at this point. Now, it does have your moments when you are forced to play as the female character, which is definitely woke and absolute bait and switch. But for the majority part, there's not a lot of woke in here, okay? The female characters are actually likable, reasonable, don't act smug, and are like real people, which is, again, a fresh breath of air, honestly, in this modern age, and with everything that's happening. But the marketing for this game, we literally had a woke purple-haired lunatic with 50 different pride pens coming out and saying, this is made for modern audiences. Yeah, that was horrible. That alone destroyed any hopes for this game that it could have. And while it's not woke, the problem is this game is just mediocrity. It's a 6 out of 10 at the best scenario if you're not a huge Indiana Jones fan. If you're a huge indie fan with all the cutscenes and the faithfulness of everything, you're probably going to kind of like this. But for the average person, this is going to be a 6 out of 10. Best. Tops. The gameplay can be described as Dishonored, but no palmers and way fucking worse. The stealth mechanics are abysmal. Pretty much every mechanics are abysmal. There's overlapping sound audio files. There's so much wrong with this. It's not a good game by any means, but this is something that could have, in my opinion, easily could have had 50k maximum players on release if it just didn't have the woke BS adjacent to it, because it did. I talked many times how this is going to be a woke disaster. Turns out, again, not that woke, still a massive disaster, boys. That's what happens when you brand yourself as modern audiences woke BS. You get what you asked for and no one wants it. Even if you may, like, for example, this product is probably at least 15 times better than Starfield. That's a lot of times better than Starfield. So, yeah. It could have done better. It would not have been anything spectacular, but it could have done better.
This tweet would get a lot of interaction here, asking the simple series of questions. Well-known IP, probably one of the most graphically advanced games right now, almost forgotten in 1 week.
It's not actually even close to a graphically advanced game. The graphics are actually as typical Bethesda fashion, 20 years outdated.
What went wrong? Well, I think there's a lot of things here that happened that are really unfortunate. The game itself, like I said, sounds like a lot of people really enjoyed it if they actually gave it a try. However, the issue is a lot of people are not going to give this a try for several reasons. Number one, this IP is really damaged right now, okay? The Indiana Jones IP is damaged as a result of the previous 2 movies flopping. I mean, you have Crystal Skull that did really bad, then you wait 15 years later for the Dial of Destiny, and that absolutely flopped. And a lot of people thought
the Dial of Dysentery, it was horrible.
Literally, this was just a pathetic cash grab. They literally wheeled Harrison Ford out there for this cash grab that ironically would end up flopping and costing Disney between $1 to $200 million, according to some estimates. So the IPs surrounding this are pretty damaged to begin with. But the other big criticism involving this game is that it just wasn't promoted, like, at all. So a lot of people, even Indiana Jones fans,
Wait, it was promoted, but all the promotion material was woke garbage.
weren't aware of this game's production and were surprised when it finally went live on December 9th. There was just not a lot of advertising put into this game, and I think that's very clear. And for a personal anecdote here to add on to this, again, the game released on December 9th. I'd actually taken a trip to Disney about 2 weeks prior to that release, and I was cognizant of this lack of advertising. I was kind of looking around, and at one point, only one point, I saw one 2x2 advertisement for this game on top of the inside of a bus next to like 20 other ads that people awkwardly stare at because they don't want to look at the person in front of them. That was the only thing I saw. In fact, I went to the Indiana Jones Stunt Show, which is a max capacity type event to this day. Even though it's an older show, hundreds, if not thousands of people attend that show, and there wasn't one reference or advertisement to this game. That's, again, 2 weeks before the release of this major title. And, I'm not asking for anything crazy. I'm not saying, like, the stuntman should have swapped out the golden idol with a copy of the game and then turned to the audience and said, hey, you guys better get ready for the release in 2 weeks. But again, outside the theater, there's no advertisements, there's no special events, nothing to promote this game, and a golden opportunity. So clearly, the marketing for this just wasn't very good. Now, one of the other big issues that this game has faced is a label of being woke. Okay, for many...
A huge, insurmountable label of being woke. It's not just woke, it was super woke.
Months, people dismiss this as a woke game appealing to the modern audience. And it's thanks to a very small section, literally seconds, of this video, the Indiana Jones and the Great Circle gameplay showcase and overview from Xbox Direct 2024.
It's gonna be that
from
guy.
About a year ago. Okay, this small segment right here really killed the reputation of this game at the time. Just listen to this.
Now we have the opportunity to tell a new Indiana Jones story for a modern gaming audience.
So there you have a senior...
Now, the irony is that this has nothing to do with modern gaming audiences. This is just how bad woke is, honestly.
Narrative advisor there, saying that this game is an appeal to the modern audience. And you can see this is the most played through part of the video. And just, it looks silly, right? Like, this just looks like something that is leading towards a woke product. And a lot of people saw this and said, yup, I'm just dismissing this game. I'm not giving it a shot, no matter what. Because anytime you hear the magic phrase, modern audience, people just tune out. And for good reason. Now, this is a problem that was escalated because there was no advertising for this game. So for a lot of gamers, this right here, seeing memes about this on social media or seeing this video itself, this right here was their first and only impression of this game until release. Yeah, that's not good. Again, so it's compounding the problem with the lack of advertising, and then the only real look people are getting is this right here, and it just made them...
Yeah, and then you had... Dude, and also the videos that you saw of gameplay snippets were complete bull. They were absolutely 100% complete bull. They picked gameplay snippets of the game that last like literally for 5 seconds at some points. It was insane. They even put in a snippet where his female assistant saves him. And that save actually is pretty normal. Again, she's not, oh, you stupid man, look at how I need to save you, you dumbass. I know all of the... No. It was normal. But still. Dude, I don't... This is like peak stupidity. What everything that they did with Indiana Jones is just peak stupidity.
Not want to give this a chance. And again, you look at the IPs attached... Indiana Jones, Disney, a lot of people just don't trust these products. However, a lot of people when they saw the initial reviews of Indiana Jones, they tried to flip the script here and probably one.
Yeah. When this came out, it's like, oh, look at that! IGN gave it a 9 out of 10! I don't know what IGN is, but I'm assuming it's a 9 out of 10 here. IGN is shit, and yeah. People try to use this as a success, and now if you're like, hey, how about that 12K player peak for your amazing game? And they're like, everyone's playing on Xbox. Yep, sure, buddy. Everyone's playing on Xbox. Sure.
On the worst age tweets, bro deserves some massive apologies. 80,000 likes, and he's basing this off the fact that a day before release, all of the reviews for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle were extremely positive. And
this is one of those Twitter accounts that constantly tries to tweet out things that Vogue good and look at how wrong the anti-Vogue people are. And these are their tweets. Literal disasters. Things that no one but the brain damaged will believe and no one takes seriously. It's just sad.
That's another issue too. They waited. They had a very long embargo on reviews for this game right up until days before release. They all come out very positive, but it's a little too late at that point. And some people thought, well, it's got the reviews, it's going to do well. Well, it didn't. And we kind of see what's going on with this game generally. The numbers are definitely disappointing, and there's a lot to blame here. The damage to the IP, the damage to the reputation of this game, it's all very traceable. But also, before we move on to the next topic here, can we stop with these trigger warnings for Disney products? They had to basically do a trigger warning saying that they disavow all of the certain types of imagery, because YouTube might nuke you for saying these words. Do we really have to do this? Is the modern audience so stupid that they have to be told that they don't actually support the behaviors of that group in the game? Like, are we that dumb?
Yes. And dumber.
As people that you have to do it. It's so pandering and stupid. But anyways, let's go on to another comparison point right now, and that is Star Wars Outlaws. Again, another extremely successful and profitable IP coming out with a major AAA release, and it's just a major flop. You can see right now, the Steam release that was somewhat recently, but again, the initial release was only a few months ago, 1,300 in-game players for this game. And
we don't even know if this game has sold 1.5 million copies. It has sold 1 million copies, but how much more than that? Probably not a lot.
Too, that according to sources, that this game sold 1 million copies in its first month, which is a major, major disappointment. They have to sell many more millions just to break even based on industry standards. So this is a really bad look.
Yeah, in this case, they probably need to sell more than 5 million copies to break even. If this best case scenario, they have to sell 5 million copies if this game costed 200 million to make, which most likely did not. This was one of Bethesda's biggest things that they have done in a very, 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 very... No, wait, not Bethesda's. I mean Ubisoft's big thing that they have done in a very long. There was a lot of promotion for this stuff and whatnot, and it's on Steam, right? They had to give the Steam cut, and then they had to give Disney their cut for allowing them to use their IP, which is probably another 30%. Which means, if they're super lucky and they somehow made this atrocity with only 200 million, they still need to sell 5 billion copies to break even. Most likely, that's not even close to truth, though. Most likely, this atrocity cost close to 400 million. Okay, not covering even the promotion expenses and whatnot. So they most likely have to sell close to 7 to 10 million copies to break even. Have fucking fun with that. Have fun with that.
Look, and right now you can see, since its release a month ago on Steam, nothing. It's just slowly dying out. There's really no interest here. And this right here is just Star Wars Outlaws in a nutshell. People are sharing around this image. So some of the devs who worked on Outlaws, they admit that so few players have interest in this game that nobody, not a single player, not out of the millions who tried, unlocked a specific mount from competing or completing some of the mini games from Outlaws. Not a single person. Nobody.
Nice.
That is the modern audience in a nutshell. They didn't show up, and the ones who did, they didn't even really care that much. They didn't even go that deep into the game that literally the devs have to come out and say, hey guys, there's this secret mount. You just got to do some basic tasks in game that you were kind of supposed to do anyways. Good luck finding it. Hope you can crack the secret now. It's just a very pathetic point for them to be at. And another comparison people are making, I've seen this image fly around too, where people are comparing Indiana Jones and the Great Circle to Miside. I think that's how you pronounce it. I might be wrong. But they're comparing this game, obviously, Indiana Jones, beloved IP, massive budget, to this indie Japanese game that is absolutely crushing Indiana Jones right now. And I think it's just kind of funny to see something so simple, a simple game like that, destroying an IP that is that successful and it has that much history and support. This is the Miside current player count right now, 13,000, nearly double Indiana Jones right now, and their all-time peak is at 23,000, and you can see the climb. They're only increasing every single day as opposed to Indiana Jones or Star Wars Outlaws that is decreasing every single day. This is a very weird scenario where you look at what Twitter is saying about things. You know, we have the Intergalactic and Witcher 4 and Concord.
Oh, I saw this. This is hilarious.
Related drama about character designs. And people defending those are so angry about people saying, I just like these cute, pretty characters. And really, that's kind of what's on the face of Miside, right? Just like any other anime-styled game. That's kind of the allure that gets them in the first place. And people still they freak out. And speaking of Intergalactic, Naughty Dog right now, they're in a corner. They have put all their effort behind this game, and Intergalactic it's going to be a challenge. Ever since the unveiling of the trailer and the first peek at the main protagonist here, this game has been facing a really rough road. In fact, another comparison.
I want that thing to happen so bad so we can just absolutely take it out by the shed and just put it to rest. It's gonna be great. I can't wait for Intergalactic to happen and that moron who made it suffer the consequences. It would be beautiful. Oh, Cuckman. That is correct. His real name is Neil Druckmann, but obviously Cuck fits more better. He's also one of them, by the way, and he doesn't even hide it. He is a repulsive creature. 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10. Anyway, that was Rev Says Desu. Modern audiences, boys. What a time to be a modern audience.